Hello and welcome to an extremely unusual edition of Lighthouse Radio. There's never been such a fuss and a kerfuffle on the island in all my days. I was just in the midst of the important business of trying to get to know my new friend Andrew, who's a wee bit on the shy side. Doesn't even like to come out of his room even when you're banging on the door. He won't come out, but what should happen but a big boat should pull up and dock itself at our landing stage, and 20 people have come on to the island, and they're all kitted out in camouflage gear, and they've got their binoculars and their camera, and it's just the most amazing commotion that I ever have witnessed. And I've got one of them here. I suppose one of the upshots is that we actually have got an audience for Lighthouse Radio for the first time ever, I think. So we'd best make the very best of this. So I'm very, very pleased to welcome one of their number. What's your name, sir?
My name's William.
William. Well, William, perhaps you could give us the lowdown on what all the fuss is about.
I'd be delighted. You see, you're actually exceptionally fortunate on this island here. We've had some amazing news. You will have guessed from our binoculars and our outfits that we're bird watchers, twitchers if you like, and we're here for a very, 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 very special sighting.
Oh, yes, and what's that? It'll not be the seagulls, no?
No, not seagulls, no. What you've got here is something that is not actually in the natural order of things. You've got something that we call a sea eagle. Now, I know what you're thinking.
What am I thinking?
Well, you're thinking sea eagles, a tin a penny, aren't you? You get them on Mull, you get them over near Aberdeen. But this is a completely different state of affairs, because what we have here is not one of the white-tailed sea eagles that you might be familiar with. We've got something that we call a Steller's sea eagle, and this is very significant on a number of levels, because you see, Steller's sea eagle is not actually a native bird. So this bird, this beautiful bird, has actually come here of its own accord. We don't know where from. Maybe from Iceland. There's a few up there, but the most amazing thing is that it looks as if she might be preparing to nest on your island.
Preparing to nest? That's very interesting news. What exactly would it entail then?
Well, for one thing, you can certainly expect a great deal more interruptions from the likes of us, but I don't suppose that'll be a problem. I imagine life gets quite quiet round here.
It's not a thing I've ever minded, but of course it's nice to make new friends.
Aye, well, you're going to be making a lot of new friends in the next few months, especially if this beautiful bird should nest. Now, the most amazing thing about this is that the white-tailed sea eagles that you find elsewhere they've been introduced by man, and they have been doing very well, but all across Britain we're seeing this rise in the number of raptors. That's birds of prey to you and me, and this is quite particularly wonderful because most of these beautiful birds were on the verge of extinction.
Oh dear, and what was the cause of that then? What was driving them to extinction?
Well, it's a complex picture, but it's a bit like a lot of things around the world, unfortunately. It's a mixture of changes in the environment and changes in land use, but most of all, it's down to the likes of us, I'm afraid. It's man.
Right, and what's man been doing to these creatures?
Well, in the case of the raptors, their biggest enemies being gamekeepers and farmers who blame them for the reduction in their stock. Now, of course, they're wild animals. They never take more than the nature can support, so it's a fallacy, really. But we were seeing things like poison bait being put out.
Poisoned bait? Oh dear, how does that work?
Well, typically they'll get a carcass, like a bit of a rabbit or a pheasant or something, and they'll lace it with poison and they'll put it out for these birds to eat. Now, of course, it's completely indiscriminate, so you could end up killing badgers, foxes, you name it.
Well, we don't have any badgers or foxes on the island, of course.
No, and that's a particular advantage to these birds. If they should choose to nest here, there'll be nothing to eat their eggs, so it's marvellous.
And you say that if they nest, you will be here quite a lot, and we'll get lots of visitors, is that right?
Aye, I should certainly think so. Aye, you can expect a lot of disturbances, but all, of course, of a very pleasant nature.
Oh, of course. What sort of poison did these people use, then?
Oh, arsenic, cyanide, very nasty stuff.
I haven't got... would rat poison do the trick, I wonder?
Aye.
Right. Terrible, terrible. Well, enjoy your brief stay on the island. I've got a couple of things to take care of, and please do tune in to Lighthouse Radio while you're here. And, well, thank you very much for dropping in. That's it for today. Goodbye.